All right, today we're going to be working on. You haven't seen this before. The first official Book 4 updates online. The book's been updated offline, but now I'm going to try to finalize it. Well, we'll start the process of finalizing it. And the goal will be to do it way sooner than Japanese from Zero Book 3 took place. So this book is pretty intact as it is not as old as book 3 and 2 were, so it shouldn't be as bad. And majority of the big updates have happened, but there's a lot of compliance issues with book 4. Compliance meaning tool compliance, style compliance. A lot of this is maybe hard to explain, but it isn't just a book, it's a set of tools that also goes inside the book. And so I have to make sure the tools will work, and in order to do that, everything has to have proper bookmarking. It's kind of a glorified bookmarking tool system. All right, so we're gonna open it up. There we go. So a lot of the beginning will probably be me working on tools, not actual content. See this? When using sub s called form variable requires other when other text isn't blank. That's a new rule that I put into the tools to bring compliance to all the tools themselves. So I have this, hey, burnt rolls. I have this, S procedure. It is just a way to display text in the immediate window inside of VBA, which is a way to like debug things, right? And I had an optional field for the longest time that said where it's being called from, so I could see because VBA doesn't tell you where it's calling things from when it has a problem. So I added the ability to add where it comes from, but it was optional. But now I made it not optional if there's other text, which means if I want to just throw out a variable, I can do that. But if I want to say variable and this is the name of the variable, that's other text. If other text is there, it also requires that you have the called from set. So I'm going to go, hopefully I can open this up. I don't think can I open it up from here? I don't think I can. I'll say no. There we go. That's what I wanted. No will bring me here and it'll say, what lesson? So I guess within what lesson or get lesson. Oh, here it is. No, it stops right here. Oh no, that's fine. That doesn't tell me anything though. So I'm gonna look at what lesson, and hopefully that'll give me an idea of where the problem is. It's not a problem. It's like a made up problem, you know. Control ID. What lesson not found? That's interesting. Oh, I see. If I look for control ID, what lesson should have been found? Oh, I know why. What lesson is sent from, not from within the code here. It's sent from within the menu. That's why. This repeat action thing is in progress, but this doesn't actually work yet. I'll find a way to make it work. But now I'm adding where it comes from so that we don't have that problem later on. This is from do title ribbon. This is just so I can have a track of where I'm coming from. And we'll just do this for every single time I call S. Okay, not seeing anymore. All right, let's look for another control ID. There it is. That's where it actually was. Let's look for another. Okay, no more. All right, what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna save and close it, and we're gonna open it back up until that error is gone. Hey, Violet. You know what I can't wait to do? Weirdly, I want to get back to Spanish from Zero number 1. That should happen within the next few days here. But also, I want to work on book 6 of Japanese from Zero because for the sole reason that I won't be editing existing lessons and I'll be creating brand new lessons. That'll be more exciting for me. Okay, there you go. Fatal error. Current lesson. Current page is less than. Current page is less than first lesson page. No idea what that is. I have a general idea what that is. And I forgot, but I just don't know why I made that. Why I made that rule. Is less than. Oops. These are just tool compliance issues. For current lesson, current page. So let's go to first lesson page. This is because I imported new tools. That's why. And the tools are set for the other book. Ah, that was it. Shoot. That was it. All right. It says it's 4. Let's see. It's almost like it thinks that this is a lesson. So this is the first lesson right here. 4 is correct. I wish I remembered what the goal of that was. Okay, why is that a problem? Current page is less than the first lesson page, which is fine. It can be that. Book 6 confirmed. Matt, can you tell me what version of book 2 you got? Do you know what version you got? I'm actually excited that you're going to get, well, actually, when did you buy book 2? Does it look like this with the dark maroon lines? Or is it like this with the yellow lines? Let me know. Curiosity. Current lesson. Current page is less than first lesson page. Oh. That means there couldn't be, it's returning current lesson, but it shouldn't. That error won't occur if I called current lesson here. You got the Darklands one? Good. That means you got it relatively recently, which means you have the updated edition. Yay! Yay! That's awesome to hear. Oh, hang on. I'm going to handle something over here. Oh, no. No, I'll do that later. It's too much work to do online. But yes, I'm glad you got the Darklands one. Okay. I'm not doing content per se right now. Actually, I guess I am. I guess I'll just start here. Welcome to book 4 in the Japanese material. I'm going to shorten the hell out of this. In the Japanese material. And I put JFZ because people say JPZ. I'm just going to start shortening things. Should be able to read and write all hiragana, katakana, and the first, right, hiragana, katakana, and the first 80 kanji taught in Japanese schools in book 3 of the JFC series. It's okay if you have to look up a character from time to time. It's okay if you have from time to time. Try to not be hard on yourself for occasionally forgetting some of the words you have learned. It happens to the best speakers, including myself, that a common word slips the mind. Even after 20 years of interpreting, okay. I feel like interpreting, yeah, this was written in 2011. I'll keep it for now. I find that the brain works in mysterious. Hmm, that doesn't really link, does it? Even after 20 years of interpreting in Japanese, I sometimes struggle to remember a recall a word or even just completely flub it. Completely flub it. Remember that no matter how much you study, you will forget some of what you've learned. Forgetting things is part of the process. The more you speak and use Japanese, the more it will become a part of you. There will be days when you impress yourself with your ability, and days where you wonder if you can speak any Japanese at all. If you have come this far, you know more Japanese than the average non-Japanese speaker. And probably 99% of people in your country. Okay, unless you you live in Japan or Korea, A lot of Koreans speak Japanese. The more you speak and use Japanese, the more it will become a part of you. There will be days when you impress yourself with your ability and days when you wonder if you can speak any Japanese at all. If you've come this far, you know more Japanese than the average non-native speaker and probably 99% of the people in your country, unless you live in Japan. Perfect. Okay. Where's that period go? I feel like it has. That's a struggle. Is it here? Or is it here? We'll go there. When will I be fluent? This question, when will I be fluent, is on the mind of many students studying any language. Becoming fluent isn't like a marathon where at the end of the race you pass the finish line and declare, I am fluent. Let's do I'm fluent. It's more like coloring in a color book. Ooh. I don't remember writing that. I think I wrote that in 2011. It's more like coloring in a coloring book. Little by little, you add color, and before you know it, you have a completely colored page in your book. The reality is that a good portion of your coloring book has color in it. In fact, you are already fluent in certain pockets of Japanese. If you have introduced yourself in Japanese and can now do it without much thought, then you are fluent in Japanese introductions. If you can recall Japanese colors without much effort, then you are fluent in Japanese colors. I should say, speaking of coloring books here, but the more subject areas you are able to talk about, the more pockets there are. The more pockets of fluency there are. All right. When I first did interpreting work for a radiation cancer treatment company, I certainly wasn't fluent in that pocket of Japanese. After learning some new words and learning how the process works, I became fluent in radiation treatment. Period. For over 10 years, I had constant work from this company. For the rest of your learning career, you will be adding to your pockets of fluency. The order and timing of each of the pockets you learn will be different for each student. The order and timing of the pockets learned is different for each student. It all boils down to your interests and the opportunities you have in each pocket. So, to directly answer the question, when will I be fluent? The answer is, you already are. Nice. Different sources of learning. As you study Japanese, you will undoubtedly use many sources to study, from books to teachers to internet sources to people you meet in Japan, and now even AI. AI. Many students are distressed to find inconsistencies between sources. The reality is that every book and learning material is written by a group of people, by a person or a group of people. And as you know, people have different opinions. Much of language is concrete. After all, much of language learning is concrete. For example, a cat will always be neko. For example, in Japanese, a cat will always be neko and a dog will always be inu. But the way concepts are explained can often be subjective to the teacher. The way Japanese from Zero teaches one concept will certainly be different from some other sources. This is normal and to be expected with any source of learning material. I encourage everyone to pick up other books and hop online to see what other Japanese language students are saying about the topic you are learning at the moment. In most cases, you will be helped by hearing other opinions on the topic. Other opinions. Okay. So far it's looking good. I feel like make that one line. Okay. These are a little bit tight. All right, I'm gonna switch this around a little bit. We're gonna make this a. Oops. Ooh. Okay. That cancel should have. That's probably something I probably need to work on, so that it doesn't break like that. Hang on. What is happening? Let's try that again. From the teacher. This is what I want in there. All right. Yeah, just to like break it up a little bit. Okay. Now, do that. Push that down. Push that down. Push that down. Push this down to the next page. This is the 4th book in a 5-part series. Genesis 0. We assume that you can read right here. That doesn't need to be there. That can be. Okay. This is the 4th book in a 5-part series. 5-book series. We assume that you can read right here. Gone on the first one. Taught in book 3. We'll do that. I don't think I used Jesse there. Okay. Okay. There, that ends us there. Now this was brought in from book 3. I'm not sure where to put it yet, but we're going to move it out. Might be some sort of review. Create a new file. We'll call it to be added to book 4. Fetpool says, I recently watched the debate you had with Matt versus Japan. That's a very old debate. And I was thinking, how standard is Japanese? Would most Japanese from Kansai speak in Kansai? Or do they code switch? Yes, they code switch. but also their intonations are different. So even though they code switch, like for example, my wife for like the first 20 plus years of our marriage, who she's from Kansai, she mostly spoke standard Japanese with me because I spoke it with her. But when she would go back home, she would speak it Kansai dialect, and then we'd talk on the phone when she was in Japan, and she'd be Kansai dialect. It was always funny to me. I was like, "Oh, what happened all of a sudden?" You know. But then as our daughters got older, she started speaking Kansai dialect with them because her mother speaks to her that way. As a mother speaking to her daughter, it was like, you know what I mean? Like her, when you speak to your daughter, you speak in Kansai dialect because her mother spoke to her in Kansai dialect. So more and more Kansai dialect became more standard, and now it's quite mixed now when we talk. The number one dialect I speak is also Kansai dialect, but it used to be Tohoku dialect when I lived up in the north. Now I have to like fake it. I can't even remember it properly to do it. But the reason why Kansai dialect came up was just because simply this whole idea that you're gonna learn to have perfect pitch accent in a language, only to be foiled by the different dialects all throughout Japan, and Japanese people also messing these up. Hana hana, ame ame. It's dumb because context saves you 99% of the time. Now, I would be lying if I said there haven't been times where one word messed me up because I didn't do the proper pitch accent. It happens. But to me, that's spice of life. Hang on, I think I have a saying for that. Hang on. Hang on.
Trying to avoid mistakes is like trying to avoid putting spice on your food. You have to make mistakes. Be a mistake factory.
I wish I would have ended with spices are the mistakes are the spice of life. You know, they are. All right. So we have this in here for book 4. And that'll let me oops. Forgot to copy this one part here. God, I'm so excited to be working on book 4. Because I know it's the last. It's the last of the books in the old style. I'm very excited. Oh, these are I gotta fix these. Hang on. Okay. No, let's see where that mistake was made. Get bookmark type. We're just gonna one by one make these codes compliant. That way, like when I see how this is the uh this is the part that I'm asking for. This this text here was put out by current lesson function, You know what I should do that would be way smarter? Hang on. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be way smarter. I can avoid this error from now on. Give me a second. And I can get exactly what I wanted. Variables. Okay, so we're gonna do. I feel like I have a already called from. No, I do right there. So I'm gonna make called from my variable for the entire document because they all share this one thing that they call track which sub or function is being used currently via the who sub. And then we'll do public called from as a string. All right. And then we'll go to the who. And we'll get rid of this. And we'll get rid of optional silent. Where is it? Subname. No, that always comes in subname. So we'll do called from equals subname. And then, yeah, if I do that there, that's all I need. So now if I go to S, what is it? No, I think it's sub S. Okay, if I make, oh, this is still optional. Oh no, here's the code. If other text, okay, so we won't do that. But called from, wait, it's already being, see, we'll call it optional, not called from, sub name. We'll get rid of this. I'm going to literally ignore subname. Now, what I'll do is if subname, then else we'll use it if it's there, but really I'm going to, oh, you know what I'll do? I have an idea. Hang on, I have a better way to do this. If other text and called form. Oh, called from. That's the problem. Called from is always going to be there. No matter what, because we set it one time, it's going to be set for everything. So I'm going to miss. I wish I could expire called from at the end of the. I wonder if there's a way to have a function called at the end of all operations automatically. I don't think there is, but I'm going to ask ChatGPT if there is. Is there a way without adding a function call in VBA to have a certain sub called automatically at the end of a command call? No. Ooh. Hang on. You can create one class module, initialize it once, and never touch it, and touch other subs. You can trap word events like document change. Okay. Does you mean if I use a sub to change something in the doc, let's say bold or italics, it would trigger the change sub? This fires when the user moves the caret cursor or selection. This runs after any edit as soon as the user moves or clicks, but it does not run at the exact moment formatting changes. Only when selection changes. That's perfect. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try that. I'm not even gonna read what the other thing was written. I'm gonna create a new module. We're gonna call it X automation. Something like that. And then we'll put that in there. Aha. Sometimes you lie is read in the VBA editor. Maybe it won't work. Ah, good call, yeah. I think I already have that. I don't know. I think you're chasing something that's bad again. I am in my own module. Frustration ensues. None of the conditions for failure are currently active. I really need to start working with Claude. Did I fix the spelling typo? What spelling typo? Oh, career. Yeah, I didn't see that. Oh, a class module. Okay, now I get it. I've seen that before. That's right. It's right here. I'll just put it in here because I don't think this is. I guess I'm doing something with that. Okay. Automations. I didn't realize that was a thing. That's why you gotta always send a screenshot, man, because we'll send this through here. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Okay. Delete this one. How I can delete? I think I just do delete. Nope. I want to delete. Remove. No. Okay. My bad. I misunderstood. Okay, create the process. Okay. And then let's see. Do we already have something like that? My auto sub. And then we'll have to make my auto sub. Okay. It's fine. No. I don't need that. My auto sub, I believe, was already. My auto sub. I guess it didn't create it actually. create my auto sub now. Wait, can my auto sub go inside? Does my auto sub need to go in the class module? Can it? Or does it need to be elsewhere? Also, how are class modules different? Minus 7 inside the class module. But then it must be public. Okay. So I don't want it to be in there. That's fine. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. So it needs to be public if it's in the class module. Why I recommend keeping it in the normal module? Because your class module is for events, not business logic. Right. Okay. Then I won't use the word public then. Normal module equals a toolbox that contains standard subs and functions. Cannot handle events. Cannot use with events. Cannot behave like an object. Everything is just procedure. Oh, that's interesting. For example, fixed styles. It's seen so much of my code. A class module with the events. I mean, bro. Okay, hang on. So, if I understand you, wait, hang on. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. If you need anything else or want to tweak the setup further.
Okay.
Just
No. So on the class modules, right? This is new to me about events in Word. So you're saying, for example, if I use one of the subs from my toolbox class, non-class modules, can I use the events inside of a class module to detect a change and then do some further, for example, automated process to make sure that what I did was correct?
Exactly. You've got it. That's the core idea. In other words, you can absolutely use a class module to listen for events, like when the selection changes, when the document is opened, and so on. Once that event is triggered, you can then run any follow-up code to verify that whatever the user did or whatever your macro did was correct, or to run some kind of automated cleanup or validation.
Okay,
So the class module
what would be cool? It would be so cool if when I select something that has furigana in it, a little pop-up comes up. Like, when there's like that mini toolbar that pops up when you select text. I always turn it off, but it's there by default for like bolding and italicizing and stuff like that. What if I could create my own little pop-up that had like remove furigana, stylize furigana, and use the toolbox items with a little click menu? Is that possible?
Absolutely. That would be super cool, like your own custom mini toolbar. And yes, it is possible. Use the window selection change event to detect selection. Since you're already looking into event handling, you can definitely use the window selection change event. Every time you select text, this event fires. Then check if the selection has furigana. Inside that event handler, you can add logic to detect if the selected text includes furigana. You probably already have a way to tell if furigana is present since you've got those FZ tools for handling furigana. Then display a custom pop-up or user form. Now for the fun part, you can create a small user form that acts like your custom mini toolbar. This user form could pop up next to your selection. It could have buttons like remove furigana, stylize furigana, or whatever tools you want to add. And connect the user form buttons to your existing toolbox subs. When you click a button
what's cool is using the events, if I click away from that selection, the toolbar could disappear.
Exactly. That's the perfect finishing touch and absolutely doable. By using the same event-driven approach, you can have the pop-up disappear automatically when the user moves their selection elsewhere or clicks away. How to make it disappear on deselection? Well, use the same window selection change event. You'll have this event already set.
I'm not going to do this now because I don't really need it. I have decent tools and shortcuts, but it's just cool to know with this events thing that there's way more power that I can pull out of this VBA stuff than I even realized.
Absolutely. It's like discovering a secret power up in VBA. Even if you don't need to jump into it right now, just knowing you've got these event based tricks in your toolbox opens up a whole new level of automation and customization. So, whenever you feel like experimenting, you know there's a lot more you can do.
Yeah, right now, let me just tell you what I'm doing, and you can tell me if you find anything weird with it. So, right now, as you've seen a lot of my code, you know that in the beginning of most subs and functions, I call a little program called Who. And what Who does is it just tracks how many things have been processed. Every time Who is called, it adds to a counter. This is to prevent runaway conditions in Word because I have no way to break out of them normally. And once it gets to 20,000, it says, "Do you want to continue?" So that's kind of a way that I use. They use Who. But recently, because I have a lot of debug code with that, I have a little program called not program, but a sub called S. And what S does is it's just a quick hand for debug print. But when you do debug print, you want to know where it came from. So I use Who. Who always has the name of the current function in it. So then I assign a global variable called from, so that every time S is called within the function, it displays where it was called from the last time it was set, which was in the very beginning of that program with the Who. But what happens is, what if I have an S that didn't have Who called? Well, it would use the previous called from. So what I wanted to do is at the end of a function or at the end of a change in the document, I want it to make called from blank. So that's what I was using the events for.
Got it. That actually makes a lot of sense, and it's a pretty clever system you've put together. Using Who to track where you are and S to do a quick debug print with context is a neat way to keep tabs on what's going on, especially in a big VBA project. And yeah, I see where the events come in. You basically want to make sure that at the end of any routine or whenever you're done with a particular process, you clear out that called from variable so you don't end up with old context hanging around. In other words, it's not weird at all. It's just a smart way to keep your debugging info accurate. And if using the event system to clear called from at the right time helps you out, then it's a great approach. So overall, it's a pretty cool way to add that extra layer of control and avoid runaway conditions. Nothing weird there at all.
Thanks for the validation. I am a genius, as you know. Good evening, George. Just out of curiosity, do you have any intent of using using GNU Linux as your main operating system? Do you feel that Windows 11 helps you in your daily professional workflow? That is a interesting question. I have no intent of moving to Linux. Currently, Windows 11 is fine. I just disable all of the Copilot stuff and the OneDrive and stuff like that. It's a little bit of an irritation thing when you first install. But I love Windows. I've tried Linux multiple times over the history of my life, and it's always lacking something. The new Steambox seems interesting because it emulates, it can use all Win32 apps, my understanding is. So that's kind of interesting. So maybe there'll be a future where I end up using something like the Steambox or some derivative of that. Because I did try to use, what was it called back in the day? Win something or other. It was like Win Emulator on Linux, and it never really worked because I use Word so heavily that I really can't not be on a Windows box. The other problem is everyone in my company that's not a programmer uses Windows, and when I had a Mac, I bought a Mac in 2016, full blown out Retina Mac, like for almost $4,000. And when I was using Word with it, everything looked great, but all of my shortcuts got switched to command instead of control or something like that, and that caused a problem across all of everyone else using it. I can't force everyone else to move to Mac, so I didn't do that. So me moving platforms is not in the schedule. Zaslam says, I'm from India. What exactly time? The time in Japan, I don't know. I live in Las Vegas, but I have a clock set here. It is 7:48 a.m. in Japan. All right, so with that, all I'm going to do in my code is in my auto sum. I'm not going to call it my auto sum. I'm going to do, I'm going to add a bunch of things here, but I'll start with, oh, actually, wait. I can just probably say called from equals that. and then within the sub of S, I'll have a error here. If called from equal to this, then message called from not defined in sub using hopefully there's other text. That way I can find it. Hopefully there is other text. Yeah, that's all I can do. And then I'll put a stop here. This is where we'll put the stop. Not here. We don't need this stop here. There. That should work. And let me from the I lost my tools. I lost all the tools. So there's something. Let's go ahead and close this out. Open or back. Oh, there's my tools. Wait. Oh, because that was a different document. Wait, was I in the right? You know what? Sometimes I'm in the wrong document when I make things. I think we're good. Let's just double check. Okay, we're good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and refresh the variables. Go back here. All right, it should rear its ugly head eventually. All right, I'm going to write a little script. In my identify in status. Is it not identify? Oh. Status equals. What? It's right there. That's what I was looking for. All right, so we'll say what we'll do is we'll add a little the called string if the call if called from is not equal to nothing, then the call equals space. No, we don't need space. I guess we can put space here. Function or sub, we'll call it sub 1, 2, 3. And then we'll put the called from. Else unknown. Okay. So now, if I do put an end if on there. Message. Message is not defined. Oh, message box. Okay. Oops. I don't see. Oh, I forgot to add it. Hang on. I got to add it in here. It should be nothing right now. The sub is in table. That's interesting. Hang on. Let me work on this. Where'd my space go? Why is space not working? The call. Tab stop. The call should always have that space in front of it. I am confused. Oh, I know why. The space is defined after. It needs to be defined before this. I'm so smart as a programmer, guys. Okay, so sub is in table. So that's being set somehow as in table. Interesting. Let me do this. And then we'll try that. It's still showing as in table. I wonder if in table gets called all the time. That's interesting. Let me do a reset here of this. Called from not defined in sub using other text. Title number. Okay. Hey, it's working. Oh wait, it is defined here though. Get bookmark type. I think that's where it's failing. Okay. Maybe that's not working the way I think it's supposed to work. Let's try this again. A previous custom undo record is still open. Oh. I will close it now. You probably forgot. Okay, set do as default. You probably forgot to call stop tracking in the previous routine. Do set default. That's another thing I wrote in here to fix a problem. starts tracking. At the very end, they need to have stop tracking. I do. Maybe it's stopping ahead of this though. And actually, this doesn't need to be here anymore. Actually, this shape and selection thing, there is way too many things that get too many notes coming out of this. I'm gonna go fix that. There's so many notes in here. Oh, interesting. Oh, see, I think that's failing now. Yeah, that's failing now. Also, let me get rid of this. I told you it was going to be a lot of tools, right? Let's get rid of this for now. It's going to feel like these are bugs that I intentionally put in. You know what I mean? This isn't actual, like I could just remove all of these checks and then it wouldn't be a problem. Oops. Oh my God, stop. Undo. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Let's try this again. Oh my God, I keep doing that. Okay, called from not defined using in sub using other text title number. Where is that happening? Title info. It thinks it's in shape selection because of my current thing. I think my called fun. Oh, I see the problem. I see the problem. Called from is getting reassigned within the function. So that way that logic doesn't work. That logic does not work at all. Shit. All right, it was a concept. It doesn't work. I need to go back to the old version that I had. Yeah, this doesn't work. Let me open up book 3 and pull the original. Yeah, that sucks. I know what I was trying to do, it just doesn't work. Oh wow, this is actually I guess I didn't even have it here. All right, let me close out book 3. I thought I had it in there. I did not though. How far back can I go? I'll just redo it. I have to remember how I wrote. So it'll be like, it was like, if other text is not equal to, if it's not blank and subname is blank, then we'll do a message box here. debugging, degging. Sub S was called without a subname for other text variable set to other text. That'll probably help me find it, hopefully. I don't need a period there, but we're going to add it. No, we're not going to add it. Okay, we'll put a little colon in here. And then we'll put our stop here again. And we'll get rid of the called from thing. Because that doesn't work. Oh! What if called from just becomes the initial call from so that I can tell where it was called from within the class macro. So we'll get rid of this, right? We'll keep that actually. And then in who, if who gets called, I got it. I know exactly. Okay, we'll see if it works, but inside of who, when I set called from, it's if called from is equal to nothing, then assign it, which means it's the first thing. It's not like a subtask within. And then I can go down and grab what I thought I was probably doing at an earlier time when sub counter was a thing. We'll do this. Well, we're going to get rid of this here. We're going to put it back only if called from is being named. This should be what I was trying to do initially with this code, but it never worked. New command. First command. Yeah, that should do it. Okay, here we go. Let's put this over here. This over here. Close this down. We'll run a simple. See, it's start tracking. Start tracking is the first command. That is the problem. So start tracking. Why is that the first command? No idea. Have I ever considered Opus Directory? No. I've had other Windows Explorer replacements, and it's just whatever. It's never been like excellent. All right. So start tracking. That means it's getting called from somewhere else. Okay. A previous custom is still open. That's fine. This. Okay, hang on. Oh, this is still. Are we still doing the called from thing within S? Did I fix that? I can't remember. I think I fixed that, but Oh, I am. Yeah, it needs to be sub name. Okay. Let's run that again. We'll work out all the kinks in this. Bookmark name. There's one indication. Where'd it go? Search again from here. This is the right thing, right? Okay. Set defaults title. This is just compliance for the tools. Okay. That default, that shouldn't have a problem anymore. Okay. Do as if previous custom undo record is open. That's fine. Sub S was called without a subname for other text variables set to checking. I primarily have this code so I can come back and remove overly wordy debugging code. Like there's a lot of debugging code that needs to get taken out. Like this detect hidden shape. Like I got too much. This shows up way too much. So I'll remove it for now. Actually, I should have a, nah, it's too much work. Never mind. I'll just disable it manually. Like it's only a problem when I'm working on a code, right? So what's another one? Set defaults title. Yeah, okay. For now, it's just the deselect hidden shape was too wordy. Items above also doesn't need to be so wordy at this point. Oh, interesting. This I guess we never got triggered here. This would have caused that error. We're gonna go ahead and do this. In case I ever undo this, we'll put this in here. And we'll do this here. We'll also disable it. And we'll disable this one. Kind of like a spring cleaning with the new book. Okay. This is just a warning. Okay, subtitle num. This is how we're going to clean everything up. We should just check every S. it is. Let's put a little bit of space around it for any other S's coming up later. Get rid of this code that's been there for 1,000,000 years. All right, let's try again. Sub S was called a subname for groups. Okay. Prevent that from showing. Anything that works does not need all of this debugging. All right. Another round until this particular function no longer pops that up anymore. Default type. What? Default type. Okay. Not in there. I'm not sure why default type isn't coming up. Well, maybe it's TY. That's probably what it was. Or maybe there's only one T. Default type. No. Well, this is a problem either way. Of course, I don't need these right now. This as well. Don't need this. We'll fix it and then we'll comment it out. Even commented out ones we'll fix. All right. Okay. This is actually a pretty important function, so. Oops. I suppose I could add this line in go to function end and not have to say it 1,000,000 times. That would be too easy, right? Okay. All right. That works now. It's funny that, we still have a do set default showing up. Oh, let's say this is it right here. I wonder what this is though. All right. You know what I think? Actually, the I should flip where that shows now that it's going to be required. Where the function name shows. That way it'll line up over here in a row. So we'll do in show, we'll modify that. It's right there. Okay, where is that? The collar, we'll flip it. What? Those string isn't a thing. Oh, it is right there. All right, let's see what that looks like now. That'll be a lot cleaner. Actually, I should put a tab in there. Oh, that's way clear. Look at how cleaner that is. Can I have as leader text be a couple tabs? Can you have tabs in here? Where's leader text? Do I not even have leader text? Oh, instead of spaces, let's try WD tab. We'll try a couple. We'll try 3 of them. Let's try that again. WD tab not work? Oh, we don't have leader text here. Not that, I don't think that's a problem, but can I have tabs in immediate window? Why is this -10? The answer is no. Oh, it's a VB tab. Okay, so it's not going to be lined up no matter what. But at least it's cleaner. So now I can see which one's being loud. So for example, get bookmark type is pretty loud right now. Within this loop, it's going to do it. Start cleaning this up so I have relevant data down there. Bookmark type is still being a little bit loud. Okay. Now get title type is being loud. Yeah, checking a title. That's like really unnecessary. That's like when I'm doing debugging, right? Like I don't need that right now. Get rid of that one. Get rid of this one. Okay. Set defaults title. That's really loud. Okay. Let's just get rid of all of this for right now. Okay, what else we got? Let's get rid of this. Getting a much cleaner code here. Current lesson is really loud. Don't need that right now. Okay. Set defaults title is also pretty loud. Like I said, I normally only have these when I'm doing testing, so I don't need them right now. Can always enable them later. What am I? Looks like it's calling that twice. Is this still calling itself? What am I is being called 3 times. I think that's okay though. Table title. Oh, I might end with just programming today. Need to take a nap. Go ahead and do this for now. This can get out of the way. Why wasn't it calling BM type? Hmm. Hmm. Oh, here we go. That's one. This is it right here. Okay. For First command, start tracking. That's not true though. Start tracking is not the first command. Not at all. Why is that the first command? Oh, I bet it's from the eye control of that. All right, let's go fix these other ones. We don't need these. Next bookmark doesn't need this. Get rid of this. I guess for now we'll get rid of the do set default code calling that out. I think it's at the very end. Oh, this has it multiple times. We don't need that. That'll create an error. This one we'll get rid of for now. Okay, so now should just say start tracking. It doesn't show the start tracking now? Ah, because track doesn't call who. That's what it is. That's got to be it. Start tracking. Ah, there it is. So we'll do who subname here. And we'll have our sent vars as well. I don't think we need the optional silent mode anymore. All right, now if I run it, first command is do set default. Yay, that's actually pretty cool. That's actually what I wanted for a long time. Matter of fact, I don't even like the word first command. It's the command, right? All right, it's just like, yeah, that's what we did. Okay, now what? I don't know. Now let's just work on the book until another error pops up, which should be pretty soon. So these need to. Are these the right style? Style is vocabulary group 2 across footy. Yep, seems fine. Shouldn't cause any errors. Is it just going to be this one group? Probably won't need to build more words into here. Okay. Let's keep our little window open here. Oh, interesting. Oh. That's not getting called in the automations. Windows selection change. All right. This is where ChatGPT is going to help again. This currently isn't. How can I get this to trigger? when I move my cursor or select something else. I think I must have missed something. Arrow keys. You must initialize the class in a standard module. Wait. All right, we'll figure we'll one by one add these things. Let's put it in config. Okay. Running it. Okay. So I'll run init events within our shortcut macros. Are the same place right here, sort of stuff. Come on, chat. Ah. Oh. It's because I named it differently. I'm guessing that's what it is. Okay. It's not triggering it. Also, why is style exist my first event? Okay. I'm going to close this one time. Assuming the way that I'm initializing it doesn't work right now. So I'm not sure. My first time ever using these class modules. So I'm not exactly sure what to expect. Normally I have been able to initialize things with my code. Current lesson, current page. That's not really a fatal error. I don't know why it does that. Oh, I know why, because it's trying to get current lesson to show up here. That's fine. That's not an actual fatal error. It's like a notice. So best was called without subname. Refresh ribbon. Okay. Ooh. Refresh ribbon's a good one. That's weird. This should. Okay. I feel like this font size is wrong. All right. Well, hey. Might be ready to do some actual editing until another tool bug pops its head up. On purpose though. With the goal of making the tools better for myself. All right. All right, let's look at this. We got a lot of notes. Oh, this is in book 3. No longer need this. That's fine. Actually, I should probably open up Kaneko's notes. Keep this in a spot where I can look at them independently. Here. Okay. Pretty sure there's extensive notes on book 4 from Kaneko. Close down JFZ3. There we go. All right, let's do this. All right. What's her note for what I should know in this book? Book 3. から本文すべて漢字プラス振り仮名になっていることを伝えましょう。この辺りに Book 3から。Okay. Well, we don't need the tools there. Okay. Okay. That note has been done. Lesson 2, 14 notes. Oh, sorry, lesson 1. Lesson 1, 14 notes. Probably already handled the first one. I did not. Ijo. Oh yeah, we already covered this in book. This has already been covered in book 3. Oh, it's a new thing. Let's see what she says here. この青い文いらないと思います。Book 4の生徒に使う機会はないでしょう。また15日にやめますは直接的すぎます。上のwhat doesn't she want? She wants the video should just say the above mentioned. Okay, hang on. Book 3, we learned how to use ijo or above with certain amounts. Ijo includes the number that is used before it. So if you say 100 ijo, it means 100 and above. Ijo can also be used to say that is all. Okay. 注文は以上です。Good note. Okay. I'm going to mark that as done. Yoroshi. Okay. And I'm going to make this a maybe a Q&A. So say Hi, Edith. Hi. So did Edith. Hi, 大丈夫です。Ooh, sub S was called Selection Range End. I'd like to be able to copy that. That'd be nice. Word by word, furigana. Also, we do not need these right now. This is like super old code. I haven't needed to see this debugging code forever. So get rid of it. Also, same thing here. Get rid of it. I think that gets rid of everything, right? Rot. Let's try it again. Oh, I'm still in debug mode. Okay. Result is detailed. Is detailed result. So happy I'm doing this, honestly. It's going to make my job so much better. Okay. Is answer key result. Do I have this for everything? That was probably the old way of me trying to figure out what was being called. Yeah, that's what it looks like. We'll nip these in the bud. Okay. Wait, what? What's happening? Why am I not getting my... Oh, I think I forgot to put this. Determine phonetic guide bars. Wait, what? This one looks like it's okay. Oh, maybe it's coming up later. Let's try that again. Do phonetic guide's actually being pretty loud right now. Is all ASCII being pretty loud right now? I don't see it. I don't see any. Oh, there it is. There it is right there. Don't need that. Is bullet is also pretty annoying. For now. All right. You know what I want to do? No, never mind. All right. Interesting. It's not. It's not. It's never triggering. It's never triggering the C positioning module, or not the. I'm sorry. The where is it? Class modules. I have to go to the bathroom. Let's ask ChatGPT again. So this isn't triggering, even though I have called init events on a reload of doc. I'll be right back. Chinese. All right. Oh, why do I don't need these? Okay, where was I? Cleaning it up. Wait, this feels like it's wrong. What's this style here? This is example footy. And this is, ooh, interesting. That one is 3-3 example A footy. And this is 3-3 example A. So for some reason it got it's a little bit wrong. I guess I'll mix, yeah, this one's wrong. So still off a little bit, isn't it? Yep. Okay, now we'll update this one to match. Okay. Das ist gut. I do, yeah, it's not being called. Oh, that's right, that's right. Wait, where is it? Oh. Okay. So I can't just rerun after an unhandled error. Yeah, so what ChatGPT doesn't know is I'm going to show it to her right now. I have a special function for after crashes and for when I need to reset my own variables after changes. Does running this work? Thinking. After crash reset, so rerunning one bootstrap is perfect. Okay, good. Bind start stuff to a shortcut like Control Alt Surf Shift. Ooh, I like that. But I already have I have it in the menu. I actually have it right. I'm gonna actually show her. It is a her. She is a her. I actually already have the restart in a menu. Smiley face. That's amazing, George. That's perfect. You basically built your own VBA mission control, and reset bars is exactly where your restart logic belongs. Honestly, that's better than binding to a keyboard shortcut because it's visible, it's intentional, you won't trigger it by accident, and it fits naturally under your debug tools. Your menu is clean, organized, and clearly reflects the workflow you built. Now you can fold your event reinitialization into that same mental yes. I just love reading detailed information about how awesome I am. You're basically running a mini OS inside Word at this point. It's true. I'm pretty awesome, bro. Okay. So I'm going to run it again. And I assume that means this will work. Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. Ah, yeah. So smart. Oh, yeah, I like that too. Okay. All good ideas. Wait, what? Okay. It's still not triggering though. Oh, this is taking all my energy. as tools always do. I might have to leave the house for a bit. Going slowly. I'm running it with the thing I just added is not working. So there's a way I can check every time the mouse is moved, and then that would reset a variable that would make it nice. Start stuff is running and it's calling. We know the problem 100% is in the event wiring. Okay, creating a fresh event class. All right, we're gonna call it. Well, we already got it. But okay. There. How about all that? Actually, I want to have what I had before. Okay. Make sure there are no other public with events. Okay, that's a good call. That could be there because of all the random code I run throughout all the years. Nope, that's the only place. Yep, that's good. That's good. Let's go ahead and reset our variables. Still not initializing. Although, when I initialize, I should also reset called from, honestly. Now that I think about it. Let's run this again. Okay. I'm not sure why it's initializing twice. Okay, it's not initializing twice. Okay, good. So now I'll run some code. Command worked. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. Now if I move somewhere, nope. And now if I run it again, it still won't work because it was never initialized. If it still doesn't fire with this exact minimal example, you see init events ran, initialized, and immediately when you accidentally put the class into a standard module. I did not. The class name and properties is not exactly C app events. It is best to select app in the left drop down. Windows changes. All right. And let VBA generate the stub, then paste your body inside. What? What? In the event feature? Okay. I'm going to send him everything I have. Her. Sorry. It's her. I don't want to misgender. Okay. The event, the C app events is firing. The public with events thing is only in the C app events, and ever does the message box in the window selection change? The problem is, right? It's not my brain that's the problem. I don't know how this code works. I'm only just now learning about it. It's investigating whether this window selection change thing even works. Let's do non-AI searches here. Oh, that might only be PowerPoint. No. I'm going to change this to app word. Considering maybe I have the word app defined somewhere else. Let's hit save. Let's why I cannot see word. Okay. Let's reset our variables. Ooh. Ah. That was an interesting bug. Or yeah. Okay, so that name is important. Okay. Okay. So that didn't change anything. So I'm going to fix this back to just being what it was, app, and we'll fix this to be app as well. That way I'm matched up with what we have here. After you run start stuff or any events, open the immediate window, Control G, and type these lines one at a time. What? No. You can run code in the immediate window? Brother, I'm learning so much. Okay. Wait. Maybe I need a... I'm going to copy the code. I feel like I'm typing something wrong. Bro. This is so interesting. I did not know you could run code directly like that inside the immediate window. Like, can I say, okay, that screenshot is super revealing. Runtime referred to object required. Means gapp events is not an object variable in the context VBA is using. So the problem is not the event code itself, it's the declaration of gapp events. If gapp events were really public, okay, all right, hang on. I have it right there. Nowhere else. gapp events is declared somewhere within a non-object type, or there are multiple declarations. Okay, let's look up gapp events. Nope. Make sure there's exactly one declaration. Control F. Yep. You should have only one and only. Yep. Maybe the option explicit is causing the problem. I don't know. Delete or rename any others. Yep. Yep. In the same standard module where the public is, use public sub init events. Okay. I'll do that. Okay. Your start stuff calling this is fine. Keep that as is. Wait, but I'm not calling init events. Oh, I see. It wants me to change this. Okay. Double check the class module. You already have this, but just to be complete, in C app events, we have option explicit. Exact same thing. The app Windows Exchange stub was inserted via drop downs. Make sure that the class is really named C app events in the properties window. The app Windows select change stub, what's a stub? Was inserted via the drop downs app Windows Exchange, not typed manually. I cut and pasted it. In what you said, okay, up until here, everything is fine. In this text, what is a stub and how do I insert and how do I insert via dropdown? I have been cutting and pasting from your results. All right, that's the key. This is a stub is an empty An event procedure that word generates automatically when you pick an event from the drop down list in the code menu. Oh, okay. Let's do that then. Let's see. Do this. Get rid of this. And we'll do an insert maybe. Procedure. Okay. If you paste many images, they're not buying the actual event. The name looks the same to you, but internal VBA does not connect to it. How to insert? Okay, step by step. Open C events. What? Wait, what? Make sure you're inside the class module. Okay, I am. Okay, I'm in there. Okay. Okay, look at the top of the code window. Okay. Okay. Make sure you're in the class with the module. Okay. Look at the top of the code window. You'll see two drop downs, general and declarations. I only see class and initialize. Which is the event list for the class itself, not for your app object. This means you haven't selected app in your left drop down. Oh. Okay. Oh, shit. Shit. Okay, app window selection change. Right. Okay. Okay. Done that. Wait. Window selection change. Nice. This is the one that we'll actually call. Now paste my code inside. Hang on. You mean paste this inside what? Word auto generated, right? Generated to be clear, right? Because you're saying paste the whole thing, dummy. Okay. Do this. Dude, why that happens? No idea. That makes, if that's the case, let's reset bars. Thinking hardcore on that. I don't know what it's doing. All right, let's just test it. It might work. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of all of these. Let's go here. Run our thing. Now I'll move. Still not working, you dummy. Still not working. But it's cool that I can do things when the app quits as well. Still doesn't work. I have bad news. Despite all the effort, This still doesn't trigger when I select different text. I am baffled. I don't know how like ChatGPT doesn't get frustrated because I know if I was ChatGPT right now, I'd be like, this would be me. I'd be like, this motherfucker, you know he didn't do the steps that I told him to do, or this shit will be working. The code might belong to the correct it's one project, bro. Okay, wait, what is this TOC entry doing though? Let's look at that. I don't know if this does anything. I'm gonna delete this. Let's see if this got removed. TOC entry. No. Yeah, your understanding is right. You do paste blah 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 inside the procedure generated, given your last output. The wiring is actually correct. So at this point, the only thing left that can realistically block the event is the event handler procedure not being the one VBA is bound to. Let me lay out a from scratch, no ambiguity way to finish this and a quick sanity test. Recreate the handler via drop downs. One last time, very literally. Okay. All right. Okay. Delete any app changes. Okay, got it. All right. Very literally. It's like, do exactly what I tell you, George. All right. Okay, I deleted it. Make sure the line is present at the top. Hang on. What if, okay, you know what? I'm not going to have the option explicit up there. This is at the top right now. Okay. The way it's writing all caps for certain things. It's what I do when I'm like being passive aggressive. At the top of the code window, left drop down, choose app. Yes, ma'am. Right drop down, choose window selection change. Now, VBA inserts exactly this. Yes. Put your code inside. But see, it's giving me the whole freaking private sub within the private sub. So I don't like that it's doing that. It's dumb the way it's telling it to me. Now, leave class initialize as you already have it. Oh, I don't have class initialize anymore. No, I already got rid of class initialize. Bro, I deleted class initialize. You told me delete any existing. Oh my. Class initialize. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay, now. App. Dude, look at all of these things I can do now. There's so many cool things, man. This is awesome. If I can figure out how to get this to work, it's going to be insane. With selection change. Put in the code. Oops. Put in the code from before. Okay. Wait, I think it had new code for my new retarded version that it's giving me. Okay. Okay. Confirm we're not break design mode. Confirm we're not in break/design mode. Events will not fire. That's fine. We're not. Press reset. Stop square button. Yes, yes, yes. Boom. Reset has been pressed. Okay. Then run your start stuff init. Okay. Let's get out of here. We're going to run our start. It ran on its own, for the record. Okay. It ran on its own. But it didn't debug print selection changed. So I'm gonna delete it the second time so it doesn't see it twice. So it did not run. Wait. Just to make sure. I did it like you said, girl. Okay. In the same class, with apps selected in the legend, pick a different event, the right one, document change. Okay, wait, that's new. That's new. Hang on. App, document, change. Okay. Message box. Doc changed. Okay. Now run start stuff. Open another doc or create a new one. Now open another document or create a new one. What? Open another doc. If that doesn't fire, then despite the debug output, it means Word isn't actually calling any events. We're accidentally in a different project than the one that's loaded. It's not true. I'm so hungry. Hear me out. I do not have, like you keep claiming I do, have any separation in the project. Separate projects. All the code is contained 100% inside the single open document we are working in. You're wiring it. Yeah, this is super weird. Your wiring and the immediate window output are exactly what I'd expect to see. At this point in the oh my God. Oh, I thought I was going to say what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe the normal dock is a problem. Okay, given that they don't, the problem is most certainly not your code anymore, but something else. Okay, minimum settlement check. Okay, sanity check. If you ever feel like sanity checking this later, here's a tiny repro. What's a repro? That should work in any normal Word install. Create a brand new blank document. Save it as docm. In that document's VBA project, class module, see app events. Oh, put it all in there. Okay. I'm gonna try that. Okay. I am going to do your minimum sanity check right now, though. Okay, send that just so that she can think about it. So we're gonna close this. We're gonna save because we've made some progress, I think. This is huge. If I can have automatic things happening, like upon closing and whatnot, that's gonna be insane. Okay. So we're gonna do a blank document. We're gonna save it as this PC. Save it in the same folder. Okay. Just so we can rule out something in the folder, right? Sanity test doc. And we're gonna name it doc M. Okay, we're gonna go into our backend. Okay. We're gonna create insert a class module. We're gonna call it C app events. Okay. And then in module 1, we're going to add this. I guess we can have the option explicit up there. Okay, we're going to go here. We're going to do app. We're going to do Windows selection change. We're going to do message event fired. Make sure public with events application is there. Use the drop down. Done, done, done. Module 1. Run initial events. I don't know why you run it from there, but okay. Alt F8. Init events. Run. Okay. Actually. Okay, now move the event fired. Let me try something else. Oh, you know what? Okay. All right. It's working here. It works in the sanity check doc. Tons of exclamation points. That's insane. Why isn't it working in my document? Lianyu says, hello, how was your trip to Japan? Hope you had an amazing time. It's a shame there weren't any street streams. Yeah, I got sick. Would have loved to see the vibes there. I did a couple street streams, believe it or not, but they were over on the Adventures in Asia channel. Let me go back to the book. God, it's still firing. In the big clean state document. Okay. In the big document, clean slate for event code. In class modules, delete or temporarily rename C app events. Okay. Only comments may appear after end sub. Oh. Hang on. What? Oh. That's interesting. Hang on. This happened on reload. I'm guessing my options explicit has to be at the top. Okay. Oh, that might, maybe that was causing the problem. Maybe that was it. Let's run that again. It should run automatically just by opening that. It did, so I don't have to run it. It runs. That was it. As stupid as it was, that was it. ChatGPT is like, yes, I knew it. That one tiny structural gremlin, option explicit and the public G events declaration below a sub is exactly what kind of thing that breaks VBA. Bro, okay. Okay, now we're playing with fire. So let's go into our app events. Let's get rid of our this. Okay. And I'm gonna actually make that we'll do that as a debug print. Location changed. We'll say selection changed. Oh no, we already have that happening. Sorry. I didn't see that. Okay. Oh, bro, look at that every time. That's insane. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that because that's gonna be annoying. Now, if I go to my now my tools. Oh, I'm sorry. This is too exciting. Command show bookmark. That's interesting. Show bookmark. Okay. So show bookmark doesn't need. That's this down here. Okay, let me go back up. Because now my tools are working properly. I can see the flaws in them. Okay. I don't know about this non-fatal error thing. All right, let's go down to where we were making our notes before. Here in Yoroshi. Okay, wait. Oh, damn it. How about only after the last change? Dang it. That's the okay, so it's resetting called from every time. Dang it. Okay. Okay. New problem. New issue. Not structural, new non-structural issue. issue. It's calling window selection change at literally every step in my VBA, in the VBA sub, doing work on the text. I wish it could. Is there a way to only call it after all actions have been completed, so I don't keep resetting called from? Ideally, I want called from to only be reset at the end of a larger task. So the next time I run a task, I get a new called from. I don't want called from reset so frequently. I did a slash by mistake. I don't know how it's going to interpret that. It's like a smiley, a weird smiley. What day is it today? I gotta go soon. I'll be back later. Here's my thought. There's probably something over here that I yeah, I don't see anything. There's something I can do. There's something, I mean, it's cool after a change. But my changes happen instantly. So it constantly, like, this is checking every character in the selection. Although, to be fair, I don't think that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's not too bad of a thing. Okay. And welcome to the other side of events. Cool, it works. Oh no, it works too much. You're right, while the macro is running, it moves the selection a ton. So app window selection change fires constantly and keeps nuking called from. We need a guard so the handler only does this when you are back in control, not when your tools are working. Yes, you understand the problem. Idea, I'm in a tool right now, ignore events. We add a global flag. By the way, the global flag is called from. You know what I'm saying? In some standard module, we can have public called from tool depth. Wrap your existing who with the depth logic, so almost all of your tools already call who at the start. We piggyback on that instead of touching every macro directly. Yes. Oh my god, I'm so hungry right now. Public sub who proc names entering into a tool depth is +1. What? That's a fucking cool idea. Oh, that's a cool idea. I'm gonna cry. That's a cool idea. Wow. I know you guys don't, probably, if you don't coach, you don't know how happy I am right now. Oh my god, that's a cool idea. So smart. So smart. That's insanely smart. the fact that it's recognizing the code I've already written. Oh my God. Oh man. I'm having a moment right now. Oh, that's too amazing. Okay. Then a tiny I'm done helper. Sub done. Oh, I gotta put it at the end. Ah, it's gonna be so much work. I don't want that. I don't want an end. I don't want to have to do an end. Oh, I don't want to have to do this. Oh man. It's a cool idea, but now if I gotta do that. So each top level, okay, hang on, let's see. Now in each top level tool, the ones bound to buttons, add done. The one bounds to buttons. Oh. Or the ones bound to shortcuts, hear me out. How about that? How about that? Okay, okay, let me think about this. So you have some tool. Okay. On error, go to clean exit. Wait, what is this? Dude, the Ask ChatGPT button's in the way. On error, go to clean exit. On error, go to clean it. Oh, I have to add that at the top of the tool though. Let me see what it's saying. Now, in each top level tool, the ones bound to buttons and shortcuts. That's a smart way to do it. Okay, but so anything bound to a shortcut, that's a lot. I wonder if, okay. So that being said, I wonder if, okay, hang on. Shortcuts. These right here, right? These are the ones. Like this, I do see that this is going to work. I'm going to take this whole thing. If there is a way to detect when one of my own key bindings was called and when it ends without rewriting, without adding code to every tool that uses shortcuts or buttons, since there are so many. For example, if needed, maybe I can wrap a shortcut everything to run shortcut subname here. And this run shortcut checks the control ID. No, it can't. I don't think it can. Has the done code in it. The done code in it. The only problem, yeah, this is. Oh wait. We could have a select case inside that runs based on the control ID. Yeah, hang on. I'm not sure how to do it. If it's a ribbon call or run based on the subname variable in run shortcut. Thoughts? Ideas? Your help is appreciated. You're a genius, George. Japan gave you a souvenir you didn't want. Yeah, my cold, right? Yeah, it sucked. And I had a cough for like a month after that. All right, listen, I'm going to go. I hate to do this in the middle of like a stream because I feel like I'm making progress. But the store that I want to go to closes pretty soon, like in 45 minutes. So I'll come back later. And if I do more, I'll restream. You might not be here, but you can catch the continuation of this saga if you want to in the next Japanese Zero Book 4 editing adventure. I'm just going to see what it wrote. It's still thinking. It's thinking quite a lot. I had it think for 3 minutes the other day, which is insane. Like how many trees did I kill having it think that much? How many gallons of water did I use? Okay, 1 minute and 4 seconds. Yes, this is exactly the right kind of question to ask now. Short version, no. Word doesn't give you some macro just started, just ended event. I already knew that. Yes, your idea of routing everything through a central run shortcut run tool wrapper is the right way to get that behavior without stuffing code into every tool. Let's build that. Yes. The core idea. One wrapper that all tools go through. Create a central wrapper in a standard module. Yep, that's how I would do it. This is a major rewrite of the tools. This is an insane rewrite right now, but it doesn't have the, so it does button ID on action run ribbon tool. That's fine. I need it to do my key bindings. No. I don't like its logic here. Don't you think the key binding solution would be better / easier to maintain as this becomes this? I gotta type it out. Run short cut. Oh, I don't think it can do that. Oh, I see why. Yeah. You cannot. Okay, I'm going to write it anyway, even though I know it's wrong that you can't do that. Is there no way? There's no way to do it, I bet. run shortcut. How can I do that? And then inside run shortcut, determine via a select case or something which keys were sent so we can then run the appropriate sub. Or maybe yeah, that's probably the way to do it. Because the key binding itself, I mean, ideally, if we could have a variable in run shortcut, then in the command part of the keybind, it would be run shortcut subname, and then a very simple select case means we don't have to write. Oh my god, I can't spell. A bunch of new small wrapper subs. I'll come back later, guys, though. Thanks. See you guys. Thanks for coming. Bye. じゃあね。나중에 봐요. 再见. Adios.